Hello traders, today we will look into some interesting topics. Let's dive into it.
This is the gold trade I took. Normally I trade with depends on my trades. I take with a bigger stop loss. If it's a swing trade, I take a little bit bigger stop loss, 50 pips or 40 pips. But when it's a trade which I'm going to take very little pips and which I can afford to put a tight stop loss, I like those trades when I enter with a tight stop loss and a good risk reward. Okay, so this is the gold trade. Basically, I took in my live account the other day. Of course, we were in a downtrend, and I think it's always when it falls a lot or it has a big break of structure, it starts accumulating, in my opinion. And this was the high of Asia, and it had very important key levels. So it started accumulating, and here exactly, I had a sell limit from here. This is the here is where I put this limit of sell, and I had a stop loss, a very tight stop loss, as you can see, I had a very tight stop loss of just 15 pips in gold. And as I had a 15 pip stop loss, I saw it touching the higher, and I put a stop loss just above this one, the highs of Asia, and expected a 60 pip fall at least, because after that there was a news of Powell speaking, the Powell speech. So basically it just activated my limit on 79.50. It gave me the profits in 71, and I was done for the trade. So this is a trade of the risk ratio is 543. Yeah, so I just followed the trend and took a small retest, and I assured my profits basically here in this gold trade.
That's really good. And you made it on the live account. How much profit did these make?
I made 5,800, and I risked $900 for making 5,800. So it was a good risk ratio.
It's a good risk.
And a 300, yeah, that was a 300K account, but I don't like to risk the one whole person. I like to risk small amounts sometimes and make bigger profits.
Yes, that's totally understandable. And can you also show us maybe your USDCHF trade?
Of course. Okay, yeah. So this was my USDCHF trade, which I entered in. Okay, so this is a mistake which I made in this trade. I saw a very good sell, and I had a limit put over here with a very tight stop loss as well. And in my live account, I had a FOMO entrance from here when I already saw I had a limit in my challenge somewhere over here, and it activated my limit in the challenge, but I already had entered in the live account before. That was a fear of missing out, like sometimes it happens to the traders. And I was expecting USDCHF to fall even more. My original take profit was over here, but my phase one would be done when it would touch here. So I just left this TP here, and in the live account also, after making good profits in gold the same day, I closed my USDCHF trade as well very soon, because it was very good risk ratio that time also, and I closed it before a little bit earlier, and yeah, and anyways, I personally expect USD to go a little more up after a few news and stuff, and maybe it gives me a better entry, and I personally still see a sell, but maybe it gives me a better entry, so I'll keep waiting for it, and let's see what the market tells me. So if I can get a better opportunity for the next week, maybe. So this trade also was 733 risk. Yeah.
It's really good to see you're utilizing a higher risk to reward ratio that makes the job easier to manage
Yeah.
well.
And for example, I like to trade, sometimes I like to see the markets when I trade with the tight stop loss, I like to see the markets in 5 minutes. And when I traded with a bigger stop loss, I like to see the markets in a bigger time frame. Okay.
So do you have anything else for any new traders about how to follow discipline? What disciplines they should follow to become successful traders?
Okay, yeah. Personally, I think to become a disciplined trader, you should follow at least few important rules. First thing is that the market pays you to be disciplined. So if you're a disciplined trader, you will always have money in your pocket. So the market is going to pay you to be disciplined. And I think you should be disciplined the 100% of the time. You can't be disciplined in 8 trades and not in the other 2 trades. You should always be 100%, the 100% of the time you should be disciplined in every single trade and expect good profits. If you're not disciplined 100% of the time, you will sooner or later, maybe you will lose money. And the next point for being a disciplined trader is always you have to lower your lot size when you are traveling, or when you see you're trading very badly and you have a very bad trading week, or if you have a few continuous bad trading days. I think you should lower your lot sizes and your risk also. And then personally, you should never turn a winning trade into a losing trade. And I personally do that in the live account. And in the challenge, it's actually different, of course, because you're just passing the challenge. And yeah, to be a disciplined trader, you should never turn a winning trade into a losing trade. So personally, I use a strategy of when your trade is going 1-1 risk ratio, you can close. If you don't want to put break even, you can close your trade. For example, if you risk 0.5% and if you're going 1% of profit, you can close 0.5%. What's the original risk? And when the trade goes more into profit, you can put break even. And the next thing is your biggest losing trade can't exceed your biggest winning trade, because people risk maybe 1% in a trade and they close their profits with 0.3 or 0.4%. And that's not very practical. So for me, that is something very important. And you should always set you should have your own personal trading system and your personal strategy, and you can't change it each and every day. So if you have one system of trading, you should stick to it. I personally have different strategies, but in each account I use one different strategy. Okay, so the next rule I think is you have to be yourself in trading. You can't copy anybody else, because like the mistake I think many people do is they see others making this profit and they want to copy them, and they tend to risk a little bit more, or maybe that person has a different type of risk management, and you have a FOMO entries and different stop loss and everything. And yeah, I think you should be yourself in trading, and you shouldn't try to copy anybody else. And you always, yeah. And the next point is get out of your losing trades. If you know if it's going to go against you, and once you accept that, your trade is not a very good trade anymore, you should exit immediately. I think that's very important. Once you should accept if you see something not going in your favor, I think you should accept and exit it immediately. That's actually a no trading day is a winning trade actually also. And you should trade without any emotions, and making little profits every day is more important. Like consistency every day, small profits every day makes, like, slow and steady wins the race. And I personally feel that you shouldn't overanalyze your charts and have a lot of drawings and a lot of trend lines and stuff in your chart. The more dirtier the charts and more time you spend in analyzing charts, I think you tend to see, you keep changing your perspective. So if you have a one perspective of buy, I think you should continue with the same perspective, unless if you're in a trade and you see it's going to go to your opposite direction, I think it's better to close it. And even one more thing is, you shouldn't hope and pray in trading, because if you do that, you will lose, because you should trust your own analysis, and you can't hope that it touches take profit and you can't just make profits every day. So you can't have hope and you can't pray in trading, for example. And yeah, and the most important is you should start loving to lose money, because at last before starting a trading day, I think you should accept that it can be a bad trading day or a good trading day. But once you know that it can even it can touch a stop loss, and if you trade without emotions, when you quickly know how to exit a trade with the loss, even if it's a small loss, I think you should start loving losing money as well in that way.
I know you have a spot on risk to reward ratio we talked about.
Yeah.
Why it is really important to have a good risk to reward ratio?
For me, risk ratio is very important because personally, I feel that you don't need to risk, you don't need to over risk to make huge profits. In the starting, when I started, I used to trade 1-1, or I used to maybe risk 3%, and I used to close my trades with 1%. And slowly I realized that no, this is not the best way to trade. Doesn't make any at long term, it's not profitable at all. So I started with 1-1, and I had few bad trading days, and to recover 5 bad trading days, I had to have 5 trading days again to recover all the losses. So then I realized that 1-1 is also of no use in my trading career, and with all the experience I had in my past. So I feel that you don't need to risk more than 0.5% or 1% to make a very high risk reward. The patience is the key in risk reward. Even if I sometimes see an entry little bit far, but it's more sure that sell or that buy is more sure than any other trade I see in the graph. So in that moment, I have patience. I have a very good limit set, and I have a very tight stop loss, because I know I can see with my strategy that once it touches that, it normally goes the opposite direction, and it goes in my favor. So if you have patience and you can have a very small stop loss, that's you can only get that with patience. If you wait patiently for your entry, and you can have a very small stop loss, you can have a bigger lot sizes, and even you can have a good amount of profits also.
Okay.
And the risk is always same, as I showed you my gold trade as well, because there I had a 15 pip stop loss, and even 45 pips of take profit is 1:3 risk ratio.
And do you usually set a 15 pip stop loss on gold, or does this vary?
No, it varies. Sometimes, for example, if I see the gold, sometimes I analyze the gold graph in 5 minutes, in 15 minutes, and even of 1 hour. So it depends on the trades and which type of trade and what the market is exactly trying to tell me. I go according to the markets.
And what is your maximum stop loss level for gold, for example?
For gold, sometimes if I enter with very, very low lots, and I have, for example, maybe I have sometimes 100 pips also, but that's a very, very rare case. Normally, when I enter gold or any other Forex pairs, my stop loss is 10 to 20 pips. If it's a trade which I'm going to close it in the same day. if it's a trade which I'm going to be there for few days or until it touches my take profit, then yeah, there the stop loss is little bit wider, the lot sizes are smaller, but always the risk is always calculated. In challenges, I risk, for example, between 0.5, 0.7 to 1, 1.2, depends on the trade. And on live funded account, I don't risk more than 0.5% in one trade. One single trade, I don't risk more than 0.5%.
You mentioned you were using limit orders.
Yes.
Do you use limit orders more often or than stop orders, or
Yeah.
you use limit orders?
Yeah. Normally, I use almost all my trades are limit orders, because before I used to enter with the FOMO entries, and at last I used to see my graph and I used to think, I should have waited till that. I saw it going till that. Why didn't I wait? And there I realized and learned that the thing which is important is patience. I learned to get patience after that. So with patience, I wait for my entries. Even sometimes I put a entry 200 pips away from my. Maybe I put a sell in a forex in GBP USD. Maybe it's 200 pips away from the actual price, but I see it more sure than it. But many people tell me, why don't you take a buy till there? But I tell them, no, because I don't see the buy till there for now. Maybe maybe it accumulates for some time and I can't see an exact stop loss. So I prefer waiting for, even if it's for 200 pips, I prefer waiting for a limit order to complete. And I have a very tight stop loss for having a tight stop loss and making good risk ratio. So I prefer limit order, because it shows you to have more patience as well and wait for your entry. And many times it's happened to me that because of like yesterday, I had a pending order in NSD USD yesterday, and for maybe because of one pip, it didn't touch my limit and it went to the take profit. Sometimes it's hard. You feel bad, but then I tell it's okay. It didn't have to happen, and there are more opportunities to come, and it's okay. At least I feel that my analysis also was good, and it went to the direction I saw it. So that's more important for me than to see money.
It might be hard to let a winning trade go sometimes.
For one pip, I can just show you the entry, but I have it in my phone. But yeah, I just deleted it. But it's but that was just because of one pip. It didn't activate. But it's okay. That's trading. You can't always win, and you should always accept before trading that it can be a losing day or a winning day. But yeah, sometimes it is painful. It's hard to see it. But yeah.
Okay, and how can you manage this good mindset? I know you're meditating. You have to take some hard trades, or you have to let some winning trades go like this one with just one pip. But you have to be a good mindset about having a good winning strike.
Yeah, but that's one of the most important and difficult things to get. And I think that's with experience, with time, you would, after failing a lot, after losing so many accounts, I would have failed more than, if I calculate how many accounts I would have failed till today, I would have failed like 60 to 70 accounts. But with each account, I didn't see it like something bad. I always saw, okay, I learned something from this. So I take it as a good thing happen. If I pass, so something good. If I fail, I just try to see what mistakes did I do, and it's like a lesson learned. So I learn a lesson, or things go in my favor, or I learn a lesson. So I take the things always in a positive way. So after losing 50 to 60 accounts and knowing each mistake, I keep writing my own mistakes, what mistakes I make, and I keep repeating, and I see all the mistakes I've made, and I learn from that. That's the most difficult part. And after meditating and concentrating on yourself, you have to accept sometimes that it's very hard sometimes, and
So journaling can be a good way of finding your
Yeah.
or pinpointing your strengths and
Yes.
weaknesses and working on improvement, right?
Yes, I personally think that, because I write everything, all my future plans, all my trade ideas, or my what do I see in a trade, why do I see it, or sometimes my losing day, and I write my lessons. Like, I have my iPhone, I have a notepad saying lessons learned today, for example, in my trading lesson. So I keep writing that, and I keep reading that. Sometimes I don't read it every day. I keep writing it, and maybe once in a while, when I have a bad trading week or a bad trading session or something, when I'm demotivated, I keep reading that, and again I see what mistakes I made, and I come back with all the lessons learned again. It's like reading a book of so many experiences of your past to make your future better, basically. So yeah, to get the mindset is very, very, very difficult in the start, but at last, the only thing is never give up. That's the most important thing, I would say. It is that never give up and keep continuing what you like, and this.
That's good. Can you tell me, how is risk management important in trading?
So I personally feel that always divide your daily drawdown or maximum drawdown for passing a challenge, for example, into how many trades you want to take. Maybe you can divide it into 30 trades. You have to trade an account, seeing it with the time you have. If you have 1 month to trade an account, you don't have to take out the account in one day. So it's better to have a good risk management. You can risk maybe 0.5% or 1% in a trade, but at least make 2% or 3%. And always have a discipline in the risk management. Always keep risking the same amount in all the trades. In all the trades, if you risk the same and have a similar risk reward, at last you're going to be profitable. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good advice for risk management.
Yeah. Yes. And if you have a bad trading day, if you have a bad trading streak for 3 or 4 days, then I think you should risk less than what you normally risk. If you normally risk 0.5%, and if you really want to trade, I think if you have a 4 to 5 bad trading days, I think you should stop, take a break for a few days, see what mistakes did you do, and then continue with continue seeing your graphs again and doing your stuff. But always, a good risk management is key to success. Risk management and patience.
How do you accept losses and wins, and how do you handle them emotionally?
Okay, I personally don't like to involve emotions in the trades, as I told you before. But yeah, normally I am more happy that my analyst goes on the way. Even if it didn't activate my trade, it's okay. But when I personally saw gold going up, even if one pip it didn't activate and it went, I think that gives me more happiness than not being in the trade. If I was in a trade, it would give me more, but it didn't happen. And I don't trade with emotions. Slowly, it was the most difficult part to do, I think, in the trading career, that to accept to not to trade with emotions. And once you learn that, I think that's the key factor. When you don't trade with emotion, when you see a losing trade or a winning trade, it shouldn't affect you at all, because it's like a job. Because like, people want to become traders in a small time without even giving a lot of dedicating time to it. So yeah, that's the most important and difficult lesson to learn, not to trade with emotions.
Okay. And what's your take on revenge trading? Have you ever revenge?
On revenge, yeah, of course. I think all the traders in their starting career and the whole career would revenge trade always but I personally, after failing many accounts and losing so many trades, I personally feel that the revenge trading is something you have to take it as a lesson. Again, while doing it, you should take it as a lesson and learn something from it, that next time you shouldn't do it again. The revenge trading is something you think that you knew that it would go from year to year, but you weren't there. So you revenge trade and you take the opposite direction. And I have seen traders, for example, they tell me, I see a sell from year to year, but they take a sell, but they close it too soon, and they change the perspective and they take a buys. And sometimes I don't understand that, but so I think even once you have a perspective of sell or buy, don't change that. Once you change that, you start revenge trading more, because when you feel that you were already in the sell and you entered the buy and it's going into your favor, you revenge trade more. You tend to revenge trade more. So I learned to have patience, to leave limit orders, and to follow the trend, and that's it.
Well, I know some traders who are trading on prop accounts like a True Forex Funds, and they might have some ups and downs. They pass phase one, maybe phase two. Sometimes they would violate the limits. This can be done sometimes because of a bad risk to reward ratio. Now you can improve technically pretty fast on that, but sometimes because of not handling the trades emotionally right. And then going into revenge trading. What practical advice would you tell them?
I personally would think, the advice I would give them is you should have patience and be disciplined. You have to follow, each trader should have their own trading rules, learn from all the mistakes they make. I think everybody should write all their mistakes and keep it before starting their trading day. I think everybody should read their own rules. Everybody should have their own personal rules, because each person and each trader is different in their own way. Each person sees the market in a different way, and each person trades in a different way. So I think everybody should write their own mistakes, learn from it, have like a trading journal, read it every day. At least some important rules you can see and read it every day before starting a trading day. I think that's the most important advice I could give. And read your mistakes, and even the things you do good as well.
How was your experience starting with proprietary trading? Was it easy for you to pass the challenge?
No, not at all. For example, when I started in the start with the prop firms, I lost like a lot of accounts and lost a lot of money. But I always it was really okay, because I lost more than $40,000 to $50,000 in prop firm accounts. But I knew that with one day I would get myself funded. I was just attracted to that, to get funded, and I worked as hard as I could to get funded, and I knew I would reach that. So, and I knew that even if I lose 40 to 50,000 with one or two withdrawals, I could make them back in one or two withdrawals. So I knew the risk reward was very good. Even if I spent 50,000 in risking 50,000, and I know the reward was very good. So I saw my life also like a risk reward in like trading, and got into it like that.
Where you are doing pretty good on True Forex Funds.
Yeah, it's
one bad experience, but other than that, all of your accounts are passed. You're making the funded profit, so it's really good to see these improvements.
Yeah, I have been funded from 2 months, and I've taken out 4 withdrawals, and I hope continue growing with you guys and having to scale up the account more and more, and have that more withdrawals coming.
Yes, definitely. We are looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about your most proudest moments in trading?
So I have been behind this prop firm accounts from more than 1.5 to 2 years, and I've always when I first came to know about the prop firms, I always wanted to get many accounts, have different types of strategies, and have each account going on been traded with a different type of strategy. So no one understood all the problems I went through to get funded, and it was like it was just my goal to get funded and have many accounts. So, and I always used to tell my loved ones, my people I was very close to, I used to tell them, one day I will get funded and some prop firm will interview me, and I would tell them my experience and what all I've gone through, and all whatever I wanted to speak about prop firm and give advices to people to help them. I always wanted to do that. And see, and few days ago when I received the email from you that at last we are going to do a video interview with you, that was personally for me, it was the proudest moment for me, actually, because no one understands the happiness what I felt, you know, because I was been more than 1 year talking about it, that yeah, one day I will be funded and I'll get the interviews with some company. But anyways, but I didn't know it would be so fast. But yeah, it was like when I saw the email, it was a very amazing moment for me. It was very, very proud, and I felt very, very good.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing this. It's also a good moment for me to know about that you were waiting for this, and then it manifested to life.
Yeah, I think at last in life, whatever you think about, we have to be positive. The more positive you are and attract the positive energy, the more things you get. So I personally feel that for more than 1.5 years, I was attracted and wanted the prop firms a funded account. And however, I made myself, I set a goal to get funded, and I worked hard towards it. I did whatever it had to. It took time, but it's okay. It's same like any degree or anything, university. You take 4 years, you spend a lot of money, you spend a lot of time to learn something. So it's same in trading. People normally take trading as oh yeah, I want to win money from the first day, but it's not going to be like that. You have to lose a lot of money, you need to dedicate a lot of time, and many more things to get good results in trading.
And based on your experience, what advice would you give to people who want to get funded?
To get funded, have a very good risk management, and see if you have a live account to get funded. The most important tips I would give someone is have a very good risk management. Don't I personally would tell people not to take a risk ratio of 1:1. At least it should be 1:3. The best advice I would give people to get funded is first is the risk management. They should have a very, very good risk management. And the next is never have a 1:1 risk ratio. And in my life, for example, the biggest rule I think I have followed is, if one person is doing it, you can be one more. You can be the second one. Or if no one is there, you can be the first one. So keep trying, keep going with and the most important thing also is have patience, accept your mistakes, never give up, and keep trying. It will cost you time and money, but don't give up. If you want to fight for your freedom, this will give you freedom. So think about the freedom and fight for it, and just keep trying, never give up. And you have to train your mind in a positive energy so you can attract positiveness. And yeah, that's the
positivity attracts positiveness.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
And of course, with all this, I don't want to tell it's very easy. There are going to be a lot of difficulties, but you should just hang on, trust yourself, just trust the process.
What are your future plans regarding trading or investing your profit splits in some new ideas?
So as I told you, I'm a crypto investor, so I would like to invest most of my profits in cryptos. But even I would like to have like many different income streams, and I would like have many different types of business and have many people working. And I always wanted to come into this trading world to earn a lot of money, to do something big, and to have a change in people's lives. So people could change their lives and help people in some way. So if I can help people to get funded, or if I can help people to see the world in a different way, or if I can help people give them work, or I can start different types of businesses. Yeah, so I would like to have a lot of different types of income streams, invest in cryptos and more accounts, and scaling up and having different types of strategies in each account.
And where do you see yourself in the future with True Forex Funds?
The True Forex Funds, I hope I'm there. I'm going to be there for a long time, and I want to scale up to the maximum. I'm already 300K live funded, and I'm passing the 100K, the other 100K to get the maximum funded account. And I just I want to just keep making profits, and I hope it goes the same way. And even if it sounds very easy or whatever, even if I fall, I know I will come back again with more experience, more lessons learned, and I'll come back and to grow again more bigger. And with True Forex Funds, I hope have more interviews with more withdrawals also.
That's great energy there. And what would you tell about anyone who's new to True Forex Funds?
I came to know about True Forex Funds in end of November, and I read few reviews, and it was like very good. I just wanted to try, so I tried it with a 50,000 account, and it really went good. I failed it, but after seeing all the profits, after seeing all the spreads is really amazing. There's no on Euro USD, there's zero spreads, and the only thing I didn't like in the start was the minimum trading days when I started. But after that also you took it out. So after that, I don't have any complaints. The withdrawal is fast; it's almost instant, and it's the best part of True Forex Funds I like is you just have to trade, no minimum trading days, and your payout split is in 14 days. Normally, the others have 1 month to wait. Here, you don't have to wait, and it's just 14 days, and it's really good. And the withdrawals are very fast. The support is really good. I personally would recommend True Forex Funds to many people. I've already done it, and I'll keep continue doing it.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here on this interview. I think we learned a lot from you technically and psychologically. Do you have any words you want to share with us?
Yeah, I thank you so much for having me, and I hope I helped someone in a good way also, that at least I can be a small example for at least for them to change and get their challenge done, or buy a new challenge, or getting into this trading world after seeing some of my experience. And yeah, that's the most important thing is never give up, and there's no limit in your mind, and you should keep learning and keep growing. And because your mind doesn't has a limit, knowledge doesn't has a limit. The more knowledge you have, the more positivity you attract.
And positivity attracts positivity.
Yes, that's always, that's a bad. Yeah. So let's keep making profits with True Forex Funds then.
And that's a wrap.
Yeah.